Hi, welcome folks to Right Life Draw. Welcome to this segment. We're going to start off with just itemizing the tools that I'll be using, okay? So we'll make this segment pretty quick. This is one of my favorites here. Let me undo it for you. I'm trying to also check out the mic because I had some problems with it. I keep having problems with equipment, but I fix them as I go along. So this is an H LED. Let me just leave that on the outs right there so you can see it. And I love this. It's a, hold on a second. I can't really tell you the brand because, oh, there we go. It's a Start Sketching pencil made in England. I swear by these. I'm gonna bring into view the Black Wings. I need to get those. I don't have a set of them yet, but I would recommend these. Highly recommend these. Are just standard pencils that work, as well as any other classic number two pencil. But of course, with variable degrees of strong or light graphite. With the numbers, you'll pick that up as you go along, whether it's a 5B, an H, an HB, 2B. This one in particular, I wanted to bring to the attention of you, the viewer, is it 2H? Yeah. So this is a Blick Studio 2H, and I think you can see it there. Yeah, get a little light reflecting off of the silver embossing there. These are really good, but let me show you. If you use a white piece of paper and you have to be very light and gentle with it. If you press down on it too much, too hard, it'll just create an indentation on the back of your page. If it's a regular piece of paper like this, which would be about standard copy paper, which is about 20-pound paper. So this 2H is really light, but it's a very hard lead. So just be aware of that. This age is marvelous though. This one is smooth. It's light, but it's smooth. And if you linger on the line, it still won't make a heavy indentation onto your page. And that one is, of course, from this brand, which is Start Sketching, made in England. I think that's what they're called. Um, and here I have my classic HB lead in the metal holder. So I think I've filmed myself already doing other tutorials slash how I do what I do with using this one. So nothing new in that respect at least for me. Perhaps for you, if you're coming into the channel, by the way, for the first time, welcome aboard. It's Right Life Draw. Give it a thumbs up if you like it at the end, and by all means, share the video and leave a comment if so you feel inclined to do so. And definitely subscribe. And hopefully you'll be set up the notification bell so it'll notify you whenever I upload a new video. So this one is a Prismacolor Color Race. Is the 244 blue. I swear by this one because it has a smooth blue line. I got to tell you, that line right there is very smooth when you make a straight line, and it's very light. It's also very, I don't know how else to phrase this, but us artists have like our own nomenclature for all of this, but it's very creamy. It's creamy meaning soft. So it's a very soft lead, and it leaves. Let me see if I can bring this to the camera's view. I'll talk about the artwork in a minute, but it brings a very sort of residue-laden line. So it's not a residue that sticks out of the line, but you can feel it when you draw with it. Unlike this one, which is my favorite go-to blue line, non-photo blue pencil, which is made in Austria. It's the Staedtler Mars non-photo blue. I've got a half dozen of these. Whew, I will go through them pretty quick when I draw with my blue pencil. So this one is perfect. It has a uniform line. It leaves a little bit of residue if you push down on it a little too hard. But other than that, it's great for drawing. You're drawing a face and your oval for your face. And make sure you put your lines there, kind of giving it a 3/4 view, and your nose would be about there, your lips, and the character would be speaking, saying something, etc. So you get the idea of how this pencil flows. It's also, I would recommend this pencil only for doing layouts. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to do a full detailed drawings. You can do them, but it would take a longer time than if you were using, say, this one, which would be the graphite, say a H lead, which flows on the page equally as well. I don't know why it doesn't have to be an oval. You could draw an alien face, give it some antlers or something. I don't know. Kind of looks a little too Wolverine-ish, but anyways, you get the idea. Yeah. So there's that. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this particular episode. All right, so yesterday, I think it was, well, whenever I was filming the last video, I had actually explained that I'd done this sketch years ago. Let me look at the time. Wow, this is actually this is actually 21 years old. It's a sketch I did once upon a time. I shoved it into my archives, left it there forever. Didn't think much of it. Again, it's reminiscent, obviously, of that grotesque face when it's super monsterized Hulk or Abomination from Marvel Comics. But again, I stipulate I can't remember if I was influenced by looking at those characters. I likely was because I do read comics. I read them a lot more back then. But more than that, I was starting to develop my feel for drawing monsters and creatures and stuff. So this sucks. This just is a complete, never see the light of day except in this video. This one time in the last one. Let's turn that upside down and let's put that one away. Let's get rid of that drawing. All right, so here we turned that a while back, a few months ago, into this initial pencil work. Because let me stipulate also that this is actually 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And it's fine. It's great for doing design work and doing my layouts. I don't do final drawings on 8.5 by 11. I can, but I usually don't. So let's cover that one up and stick with the latest version, which is this. Hopefully you all can appreciate this a little bit better. I really don't like that one. It was a great start over here, but this one is the more the and again, that's just to have that there. I wrote the name of the channel for another episode, but let me lift this up. Slide the board underneath this piece of paper. All right. Just use it as a guide, and then I keep this other piece of paper in here. Excuse me, I'm going to have to block this out a little bit so that it has the clip has a firm rest normally of paper underneath, and none of the metal will actually sort of create any crevasses into the Bristol board. Also, I should stipulate that. Let me put this to the side. This is a pencil work that's almost finalized. None of this is in ink. I'm going to go back to using what I was using the last bit of film that I was doing, which was the H. I think it was the H and the HB. I need one of these two. Usually the HB is really for me to finalize my pencil work. In this case of the eyeball, I actually used a template, and I did I think here as well. I'm not certain. Hold on a second. Let me see where my templates are at. Let me pause this for a second. All right, folks, here we go. So I found the template that I needed, and this will be a good example of. Let me see if I can actually do this eye here. I want to make sure that I eyeball this, no pun intended, to the right sizing, which would be. Let me see here. Hold on. 7/16, 7/8, 16/16. So I think it's going to be a 7/8 size. Yep, I was right. I can usually eyeball most of the stuff, and sometimes you have to move the template around to just get the sizing that you want just right. Again, you don't want to make an elongated eyeball either. I'm cognizant that I'm trying to draw a monster here, and maybe you might be asking yourselves, well, what's the issue with the eye? Who cares if a monster has, bulbous eyes or circular eyes or rectangular eyes or whatever? Well, I think that defines not only the face, but the eyeballs. The center point of the eye mask, wherever those are at, defines the feel of the drawing, of what's going to be the final drawing. So in my mind's eye, you all see this, but I see the final rendering in ink. And I'm trying to work a little bit of storytelling in there so that it is... I knew I forgot something, my eraser. Hold on. I carry this little blank container. It's really wonderful. You can get it from any major art supply store. It doesn't have to be Blix. That's always your choice. And I have my brushes here, different pen point numbers. You can tell there, 0.3, 0.1s. As you can tell, this is the per the title of this video. These are the materials, or I should say the standardized pens that I use. At least I think my title will denote something to that effect. At least the title that I've come up with in my mind's eye. Anyways, hold on a second. Here it is. I had to find it in my pencil case. There we go. I use this Papermate tough. What is it? Tough Stuff eraser stick. It's really just marvelous for small erasers. Like here, there's way too many lines there, confusing my eye, anyways. Let's get rid of that. Always wipe away your the remnants of your eraser. Let's go back to the 7/8. That's a 7/8 size template circle. Make sure that I get this just right. I want to do a final pass through. There you go. That's the defining line. And then I'll work on this a little bit. We're going to erase that as well. The iris of the eye. And we're going to go down to a 732. No, we'll go with 14 or 1764. Yeah. I think we're going to make it smaller, not bigger. There we go. All right. I've got a perfect circle that I wanted for this. These two lines were already inked, so you can tell that there's going to be a standout feel to the image of the face. All right, we're at 11 minutes here, so let's get to a little work. Show and tell is done with the tools. Let me fix the camera a little bit, and something is not capturing the whole drawing board. All right, let's get to work. Here we go. Anyways, as I walk you all through this, just bear in mind that I'm going to take a sip of coffee from my cup and tell you all a little bit about either myself, the artwork itself, what I'm... let me see, there's something missing as well, my other eraser. So these are, to tell you the truth, I can't remember the brand, but this eraser's been with me for a long time. I love it. I love using old materials and tools that are always there and reliable. So my thing on materials that you use for drawing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The